What up, YouTube? This is Weaponry Fitness. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and that is it for now because I'm trying to figure out this whole streaming process because I know when you stream to multiple platforms, you sort of lose. Um, like if I want to share a video or something, like it starts lagging. Like I've been watching some of my videos on the playback, and it just seems like it lags. And I really don't want to lower the resolution because I want the video to come in clear. So we're gonna keep messing around with that because I want to start streaming on X and Instagram and there's some other platforms like Rumble I want to try out too. So like you got to have some good internet connection to do all that, and I need to figure out how to do that without my streams being all choppy and shit. So, but yeah, welcome to today's episode. I am going to be talking about um, how this generation of men seems to be getting weaker, yet we got all this medicine and knowledge and information very accessible to the general public. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I have done a little bit of research and I have been listening to other people talk about how uh, testosterone has dropped significantly over the last couple of decades. So um, I understand and I am aware of that. Even though it doesn't seem that way for me, I feel like my testosterone's higher than most freaking teenagers and people that's well into their 20s. It's like, it's ridiculous, man. I get out of bed very, very um, ready to go and stuff. So, and I mean that in several different ways. So, I'm just opening up this mail because the tax agency sent me some a notice. Hopefully, they don't want money from me. Oh, it's a 1099. Okay. So we get credit. We get $22 of credit, yo. It's a little $22 extra that I didn't have before. We'll gladly take that. So I got some notes here. I do want to share some of my videos. Well, probably just one, but I'm gonna go. I don't actually have like three ways. Maybe I just have a couple of different things that could help you achieve your goals going into your whether whatever have you, man. The next year, this year, or the next 10 years of your life, because what I have gathered in the last decade or two is that you don't become strong overnight. It's something you have to work towards. You have to build good habits. You have to set goals, and you have to create a foundation so that when you are in a bundle of sticks, you can pick up the one stick and roll with it. You don't have to trip over all of them. If that analogy makes sense, but if it doesn't, we'll just keep going. But it seems like uh, as newer generations form, the older generations kind of talk about how weak or how soft the previous generation is, and to some degree, that is true because technology has made it easier for us to live life. And being that I'm a millennial, I do know what it's like before social media, before cell phones, and all that. So when I was a youngin, 8, 9, 10, we went outside every day. When I wasn't doing homework or doing anything, we went outside every day. Um, I did a lot of, well, especially when I was like in those later, um, almost teenage years, we did a lot of physical. We did sports, basketball. I did a lot of tumbling with the neighborhood kids. So I was already well on my way becoming a pretty active person later on in life because of what I did. So and it never slowed me down. Now here's what went wrong for me is that I was mentally weak. I wasn't really physically weak. I was mentally weak. So you got to have everything um, to be considered strong. In my opinion, you got to have three things going right for you. Excuse me. You got to have your mind right, your body right, and your spirit. So I'm gonna kind of go through all that um, to gauge on how to not be weak and to to you know to get through this life not being a weak man. And I don't think a lot of people think there's a lot of men out here walking around thinking they're tough and stuff. I think a lot of people, I would say most men think they can fight, but I highly doubt that. Most men don't even train, so I highly doubt that. Um, yeah, a lot of men walk around. They don't even realize they're weak. They have no clue. Um, I've never been punched in the face, but I have been in plenty of fights, so I know the difference between being weak and being strong. What I'll tell you now is that every time I walk into a room, I'm not afraid of anybody. So this is how you can tell if you're weak. When you walk into a room and you look at everybody in the room, do you think you can take everybody in a fight? If the answer is no, then you are lacking something, whether it's physical or mental or financial. Because financial nowadays it can be considered as um, a stature of power. So so let's just say I was broke, but I was strong. I could take your money. Now, if I was strong, but I was, or if I was weak, but I had money, I could find a way to get the government involved because I could use my resources to put you away. So I think you need to have both because if one doesn't work, the other will. And then, uh, yeah, that's kind of so. I'm gonna be all over the place because I don't have bullet points, so just bear with me. Um, so I guess my channel's turning out to be like one of those self-improvement channels. So it's not going to get a lot of traffic because most people don't want to self-improve. I think most people are lazy. I think that's centered around just life in general. The way that society has made it, technology has made it so easy. We got DoorDash now. I don't even use that stuff. Elevators. Now that's been around for decades, but I think anybody who uses elevator and is not physically handicapped, that's creating weakness in you. I never use elevators, even if it's 13 story. You can ask anybody that I have been into tall buildings with. I never use the elevators. The only time I would use an elevator is if I'm with a group of people and we're just like socializing. That's a different story. But like, if I'm like with one or two people, I'm like, if you want to use the elevator, man, I'll check you up. I'll check you upstairs. So that's a big sign. Use the stairs if you are physically capable. If you're overweight, obese, use the stairs. That's exercise, and don't eat food on the way up. When I'm truck driving, so I'm on the Family Dollar account. When I'm truck driving, I'm noticing that a lot of people in the stores are eating while they're unloading. When you're unloading, whether you are the truck driver or the store employee, you're burning calories. Now, you're not burning calories if you're filtering food into your belly. You're just basically replacing the calories that you're burning. So it's just this simple crap, and it's not like what they're eating is healthy. They're eating like snacks and stuff. So um, these are small tidbits of why people are weak today because they have no discipline. You need discipline. Um, so I'm going to go over mind, body, and spirit. So with your mind, you want to do something that challenges your mind. Um, Now, people say that math is useless when you're in school, but like um, math was uh, math was horrible for me in school, but it did challenge me. At times, I did want to give up, but like if you're a full grown adult, try doing something that involves math because problem solving uh, comes with understanding how the world works through analyzing data and stored information. So you need math. Um, I think math runs the world. I noticed this in cryptocurrency. Like if you can't um, figure out the numbers, then you wouldn't know what to invest in. You wouldn't know how much, how many. You couldn't you could project the amount of gains you had. Like you're just basically just spitballing it. You're guessing. So um, do something that challenges your mind. Yoga challenges your mind. Do martial arts will challenge your mind, body, and spirit. But like martial arts is kind of a cheat code. So playing any kind of sport will challenge your mind, body, and spirit. Um, if anybody is watching on the replay, make sure you like the video, subscribe. Uh, I want you to, challenge me on my thoughts, man. Challenge me on what I'm saying, man, because I'm just sitting here talking. Like, you know what's funny? No one's gonna listen to what I have to say because I'm not a billionaire. But like, if I was a billionaire talking to like the average person, they wouldn't have no concept of what I was talking about because they didn't have to go through the trials and tribulations I did to reach that billion. Now, I'm not saying I am a billionaire or a millionaire, but I have I have reached a level to where I can't talk to my peers about where I want to go because they haven't been there. I have to be consulted by millionaires now. So I've talked to several millionaires and they've given me the tools and the uh, the plan on how to achieve said success. So that's what I'm doing right now. Um, you like you just you got to know who's on your level and just a bit above your level so you can be relatable. So I can't really relate to anybody because they're not really. I hate to sound arrogant, but I have become a little bit arrogant because I notice um like I could like I have an abundance mindset when it comes to money. I understand how to put money away and then how to invest it and then what I need for the upcoming years. And I just don't. It's just hard to relate to other people because they haven't. They're like a lot of people are struggling financially. So um, now I am in a different stage of my life. Maybe they haven't reached it yet. Maybe I'm just seeing from bird's eye view because I've been there before. But that's just how it is. I mean, just like the generations talk about the older generations talk about the prior generations. They haven't gotten there yet. I'm pretty sure that Gen Z is probably gonna talk about how weak the generations before them is. So um, yeah, I'm getting messages on my phone right now. Somebody is contacting me from Facebook Marketplace, and I've been selling a lot of stuff that I have around the house, just to make nickels and dimes, basically. So I turn those nickels and dimes into dollars and shit, throwing it in the crypto market. So, but that's how we do. So we talked about mind a little bit. We're not trying not to go too long today, man. I could be a bit of a yapper, which is ironic. But the body do something. So mind do something that challenges your mind, and body obviously do something that challenges you physically. So if you're not challenging yourself physically, then you are doomed to be weak. Um, you know what I did? So okay, so this is a perfect time to show you one of my videos here. If you haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to talk about why I created Warborn. So we are going to go. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Please check out my playlist. It's called Warborn, Warborn. Look up the definition of Warborn. It's not translated in the same way that I have created Warborn. I'm gonna go into it real quick. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna show a little bit of a piece of it. So here we go. This is Warborn 3. It's one of my favorite Warborns. I got 6 of them so far. So we are going to be working on the 7th one. That's going to be coming sometime in spring or summer. So I think this is one of my best Warborns because I use over 10 weapons. So we are going to play a little bit more of it. All the weapons that I use are real. So I use a real katana. I use real nunchucks. I use a rope dart, which is real steel. And we are going to go into why I do that. And it's going to relate to the subject at hand. That is a real chain whip. So I've hit myself in the face with that chain whip before. And realize I am about 36, maybe 37 when I made this video. I want to say 37. So you're looking at a 37-year-old jumping around like that. How many 37-year-olds do you know that can do that still? Um, that's not a professional athlete. I am not a professional athlete. I do this. I do this for free. I don't get paid for this. I'm not. My channel's not monetized. Nothing that I do that's related to martial arts is monetized. So this is strictly for my enjoyment and my health. Preserve it. So I'm preserving my body by doing this. If you haven't gathered that so far. Notice how I'm in different spots. This is basically all over Northeast Ohio. That sword that I use. It's that sword is heavy, man. I can't tell you how heavy that was, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. So if you can't really hold it in the same way that you do a Tai Chi sword. All right, we're gonna let it go there. I want you guys to go watch my War videos. They are the most physically demanding videos that I've ever done. Um, you really would have to uh, hold some of my weapons to understand how difficult it is to work with them. I'm not like a lot of the martial artists you see out here using lighter weapons. Like um, sometimes I'll use it just to figure out a technical way to um, maneuver a weapon so that if I do hit myself, that it's not going to have long-term consequences. But for the most part, katanas are real because um, there is certain things that I do with a katana that it doesn't matter. I use katanas for strength and speed, so there's no reason to get too crazy with those. It's the rope dart and the nunchucks that I have to sometimes use training weapons with, so to speak. So let me cut this out. So the reason I use real weapons is to get a sense of, my life is in danger. Now that is a big one. If you're gonna take, I might clip this. If you're gonna take anything from this, the reason why men are weak is because their life isn't in danger constantly. Um, if you haven't experienced a life or death situation once or twice, then you have no experience in what it feels like to almost die. You It's hard to explain this because I have been in like several life and death situations. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I definitely don't want to get too emotional, but let's just say it put me on a direction to where I wanted to end myself or I wanted to move on. The only way to move on from a life and death situation is you have to be stronger. You can't be as you were. So if I let's just use a fighting example. If I were to fight somebody and I were to nearly lose my life fighting him, the only way to beat someone else just like him, I would have to be stronger. You can't be the same. You can't just be stagnant and overcome a fighter that caliber and win. You have to get stronger. There's no other way. So you have to overcome a fighter that's stronger than you, uh, And obviously, if you're much stronger than that fighter, you don't actually build any kind of experience, or you don't get stronger by fighting someone weaker than you. So if this person is much stronger than you, and you overcome him, you obviously hit the next level. And that's kind of what being in a life or death situation is like, because you just survived um, a situation to where your life could have ended, and then now you are on a projective path to where you have to make better decisions. You have to level up somehow. Um, so I think that's another reason why this generation is weaker, is because we've made life easier. So they haven't had to struggle with the human experience like past generations have. Um, so, for example, uh, yeah, we we had to. I had to walk to school. I didn't. We didn't really get carpool all the time because our parents were working all the time, which is fine. They had to provide. So um, this is why I believe in stay-at-home wives, stay-at-home girlfriends, or whatever, what have you. So they don't have to rely on public transportation or anything like that. But we got situations to where we got the bikes aren't really bikes anymore, man. Everything is like motorized, so people aren't getting the exercise that they should be. And exercise wasn't a narrative back in the hunter gatherer days, because everybody um, naturally exercised through whether it's the man was hunting, or the stay at home wives were washing clothes, because they didn't have washer and dryers. They were doing clothes, which is funny, because washing clothes today is easy. You just throw it in a dryer, washer, and then you can go up and watch TV or something. Back then, they had to do it manually by hand. So that's how the women stayed in shape. And then they didn't have that much processed food back then. So in a way, it's made women weaker, um, because women are working now, and if they're working, they're making money. So now they want men to earn more money than them, at least 56% more. So now this is why men are seen as weak, because they don't make that much more than the women they are with, or the women that are on the dating market, are on the dating market. So, but the fact that women have stepped up, that means men at the bottom have to step up, because the men at the bottom um, are now like invisible. So we're talking about the 80%. So the top 20% are the ones that women want. So that is that is a problem. So if you're a man on you're in the bottom 80%, nobody even cares or knows that you're alive. Uh, that's a lot of people, man. That's it's kind of sad, but it's not really sad, because nobody knows who you are. Uh, they don't know your struggle. Like nobody really cares about the man's struggle. So, but yeah, that's why I created Warborn, is to keep me tough. Um, every time I go out there and train, my life is always at risk. Every time I drive a truck, my life is at risk. So, if anybody were to consider me weak, uh, they don't understand the male struggle. Um, because some of the stuff that I do, um, it takes a lot of experience, a lot of discipline to come home with all your hands and all your feet. So, creating my Warborns is just it's just something I enjoy to do. So, um, throwing swords in the air, and with the chance of me cutting my hand off, man, that's exhilarating. So yeah, I created that to motivate me to push my limits as a human being. Um, when I do the multiple locations, I just like to see different spots. Uh, so doing something that challenges you physically. So there's a lot of things you can do. Um, a big one is for me to train outdoors when the weather is bad. Like say if it's raining or if it's cold out, um, your body can't adapt to it, and it will. I definitely proved that the last couple of years because I remember when I never did train outside that much when it was wintertime, but just the last couple of years, every year that I've trained outside, it just seems like it just doesn't get cold to me anymore. Like 27 degrees used to be cold. Now it's like it's warm to me. Um, I think the last winter I trained out in 6-degree weather, and it was like, man, it wasn't too bad. The year before that, it was very excruciating, and I did put a video out on that too. So I have like 2 videos that I did in the cold weather, and I was layered up too. This past winter or this winter, I didn't have to layer up that much during the teen weather. I was like, man, what is this, man? This is trash. So I did get stronger in that sense. I guess we could talk about spirit now. So with spirit, you want to take pride in something, be consistent and convicted in what you do. So for me, for example, I am convicted in my martial arts. I get a lot of shit. I get made fun of, but that is something I take pride in. I'm convicted in it, and I'm very consistent. I've been doing martial arts since I was a teenager. So it's definitely uh, I've taken breaks too. Um, Not because I wanted to, just because just things happen in life. But martial arts is a way of life. So every day, my martial arts training has helped me because it's improved my senses. It's improved every single sense that I have. My awareness, uh, as an artist too. Like I love to look at, I love to watch scenery. I like colors. I like different types of colors, even though I like to wear all black most of the time. Um, I think that's a personality flaw. But anyway, um, yeah, very taking spirit or having spirit is just being convicted, man. Now this could be quite complicated because sometimes you do have to challenge your own beliefs. Over the years, I've challenged my beliefs several times. Um, I won't go too in detail with that, but like I used to pray all the time. I mean, I still do once in a while, but it's not like I'm not super religious, even though I grew up Catholic. But like I challenged certain things, like I couldn't see if I can't see it, or if I can't, if I don't have any knowledge that it's actually been around, then it's really hard to stay convicted in that. So I go with the numbers. I compute the numbers. I look at data and I go off stats because that is the surest way to conduct business most of the time. My life's actually gotten better because of that. So I mean, just saying. Obviously, you do have to have faith in what you do, but I think this world is going to be very secular in the coming decades. It's just there's just too much data out there not to be. I mean, the internet has changed everything. Um, before we had to rely on our religion, our beliefs. Now we can look up what's happening in different states and be like, wow, this is happening over here. My faith didn't say that. I mean, I didn't believe that was happening, but it is. So there's there's a different way that you have to move based on the information you take in. So obviously you got to do your own research on stuff, but yeah, that's about all I can go on in spirit. So mind, body, and spirit. Um, just being weak is basically, man. I'm gonna say this in like every podcast, but like being weak, like feminism calls that. Um, there's plenty of podcasts that talk about this, but I really don't. I'm not gonna say I'm super like a historian in it. I am starting to read a lot more books into it, but like it has changed the male uh, the male standard because we just it just seems like society has lowered male standards, but they still want us to perform like the male that of past generations. So how like men are very confused nowadays. Um, I'm not confused, not anymore, at least. I mean, I guess I could spitball it for now. So another way you can get out of this weak mindset is obviously get in the gym. And when we say get in the gym, doesn't mean you literally have to get in the gym. Just freaking get your body right. Like you got to get a V taper. So stop eating a whole bunch of food. Go work out, do a sport. I mean, if you're under 40, you can work out. You need to build a physical training regimen. Um, if you're from Cleveland or Ohio, man, I train all the time, man. I'll get your ass in shape, man. It's not hard. Um, it's really not hard. The hardest part is managing your time because a lot of people like to play video games. That's another thing is sedation. A lot of men are weak is because of sedation, whether it's smoking, drinking, playing video games. Now, I I've heard this from several people, but like I strongly agree that you shouldn't play video games unless you have your financial situation. Um, you need to be financially set. So like I would say have a year of savings. Make a shit ton of money a year, at least 80K and above. If you're not making that much, you shouldn't be wasting your time on video games. If you like say if you're making like 40K a year, you need to, and you're only working 10 hours or 40 hours, you need to figure out another 20 to 30 hours to generate more income. So it's not that hard. The problem is you're just lazy. So, but yeah, that's what else? That is a sedation. Yeah. Smoking, drinking, video games, watching porn, that is all sedation. It's going to cause you to eat more too. So, um, I only know this because I just pay attention and I do my research. Um, a lot of people who are successful aren't doing those things, and if they are, it's because they have already found success. And obviously, there are exceptions to the rule. So we're not talking about the 200 people that find success because they drink and smoke and stuff. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the overwhelming majority of men who have these bad habits and are living paycheck to paycheck. So and I can tell you from experience that living paycheck to paycheck sucks. And then um, once you get out of that situation, man, it's wonderful because now you have money to invest, and then you have your investments to generate wealth. But yes, you need to stop that bullshit now. That is pretty much all I got for now. Yeah, stop eating weak shit. So and this is coming from somebody who's climbed out from the pitfalls of hell. So I kind of know what you're going through. And if you are in your 20s, you should not. You should be working like 80 hours a week, unless you're making 100K a year. You don't have to go that hard. But who's making 80K? Who's making 100K a week and working 40 hours? I mean, I work more than 50 hours a week. Um, plus, I actually spend full time studying the markets because I don't want to lose money. I don't want to lose my fucking wealth in the market. So you got to study. You got to pay attention. So I generate at least 20 to 30 hours studying and reading up on news and the markets and stuff. So I can I'm on par, man. I am on par. So that's probably putting me about 80, 70, 80 hours a week I'm working basically. So, but yeah, um, I would not advise someone to do something that I'm not already doing. So that is even though like to even like nobody's really watching, man. Pretty much talking to myself. So I'm giving myself some motivation by doing this podcast as well. So I do take my own advice, and that is what it is. So if you look at the sign, yeah, Playboys only. And then, God damn it, there we go. this, I'm trying to point to the sword. This will make you strong. So make sure you get in the gym, do some martial arts, whatever, get strong. And that we are going to end the stream. Make sure you like the video on YouTube, goddammit. Peace.